This is Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman.
Hey, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/midweekpolitics. You can subscribe. Every time there's a new show, you will get an email, and you'll be able to stay up to date on what's happening. A couple of interesting stories. One is that Senator Evan Bayh is not going to seek re-election, and this is interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one is that some say he may be interested in in a presidential run. Now, if he is, I don't know that announcing a retirement preemptively is the best strategy. There's two schools of thought on that, depending on which political strategist you talk to. The other interesting backstory on this is something that was reported widely by the news media, which you can hear first, and then I'll tell you what my reaction is. I think we have it.
In the race for the Indiana Senate seat, Senator Evan Bayh, NBC News is confirming, will not seek re-election. This decision comes less than 2 weeks after former Indiana Senator Dan Coats, a Republican, announced that he would try to reclaim his old Senate seat. Evan Bayh, though, in remarks to be made later, will indicate that his decision was not motivated by political concerns. Senator Bayh expected to speak around 2 p.m. Eastern time today.
Okay. So it was not because of political concerns. And I think what is meant by that is that he thinks that he would lose. And that's not the case. And I think he said he has a double-digit lead over his Republican rivals in early polls. But he did, interestingly enough, take some shots at Congress. He said that Congress suffers from brain-dead partisanship and tactical maneuvering for short-term advantage. Two ways to look at this. Number one, he's saying that to position himself for a run for president where he can say, hey, I've been critical of Congress the whole time. I said it's brain dead partisanship, and I actually put my money where my mouth was, and I quit. The other way to think about this is that this is not going to look good if he does run for president and say, hey, you were insulting that same Congress that you were a part of. What indication is there that you would get anything done as president? And we're really thinking ahead here, and we don't know for sure that he is positioning himself for a presidential run. But you would think that a lot of these things he's not necessarily playing it safe by any means here.
No, it's quasi-Palin-esque maneuver.
Yeah,
he's pretty young. I mean, who knows? It
doesn't. He certainly will have more than one shot if he wants it at running for president. It's not clear if he will run in. The other issue is if Barack Obama is running for re-election in 2012, there is a certain etiquette of do you run against when there's an incumbent president of your own party or not. Some have said, well, Hillary might run, even though she's said that she would not. I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to pull the old John McCain Maverick move.
I've been called a Maverick.
Maybe Evan Bayh also wants to be called a Maverick. I don't know.
I'd like to be called a Maverick.
Silent Bob. You know Kevin Smith, Lewis, the movie director?
Great director.
He is angry at Southwest Airlines. I guess they kicked him off of a plane because he was too fat. He was already buckled in, and Southwest, and I don't know if Southwest is the only airline that does this now, but they have the customer of size clause where I guess if you take up more than the allotted amount of space, you can actually be forced to pay for additional tickets, which is insulting. I can't imagine being asked to do that. And at the same time, I can't say that it doesn't make some sense, right? I mean, if you are making it so that a passenger next to you either cannot sit in their seat or the airline has to move somebody off of the plane, somebody has to pay for that, right? Am I being insulting by saying that?
Insulting, not the word. A tad bit insensitive, perhaps, but I agree with you. I agree. I mean, I hate to say it, but I agree.
I don't know. I mean, there are two sides.
If the person next to you barely fits in their seat, I mean, they're paying the same price, maybe even more than you are.
Well, everybody pays a different price.
Right.
Yet another issue with the airline industry. But they were in the same pool as the person who may be taking up a seat and a half when they bought the tickets, and presumably they should not be penalized in some way. Those seats are bad enough, right?
Of course.
I'm going to Argentina over the summer, and I'm thinking of paying $150 for 5 extra inches of seating, and I think that would be worth it, honestly, because it's as it is. It's incredibly uncomfortable. You're flying tomorrow, aren't you? And
I am.
I know you're not looking forward to it.
Not at all. I mean,
not to mention that you get sick on most flights.
Thanks for bringing that up. But somehow we managed to bring that up like once a month.
Are you bringing the patch tomorrow or the behind the ear thing?
No, I'm all out of those.
I heard that those work.
They're great.
And it's not a magnet. It's just almost like a nicotine patch.
Right.
But it's a not getting sick on plane patch.
An anti-nausea patch, if you will.
Well, I know a lot of people that get sick on flights, and I think they should try that. In any event, back to Kevin Smith.
Right. I don't know why Kevin Smith isn't flying first class. I mean, you imagine this guy has some money.
Well, Southwest has no first class.
I mean,
maybe the better question
airline,
is, why is he flying Southwest?
Right.
So it started kind of a Twitter war. Kevin Smith has like over 1 million, over 1.5 million followers on Twitter. He is that Kevin Smith, and he's kind of causing a PR nightmare for Southwest Airlines. He said something along the lines of that he got. Let's see if I have it here. He said, what was his exact line? Fair warning, folks. If you look like me, you may be ejected from Southwest Airlines. And then a spokesperson for Southwest Airlines wrote an apology on the Southwest Twitter account saying, hey, Kevin, I'm so sorry for your experience tonight. Hopefully, we can make things right. Could Southwest end up spinning this positively?
I don't know.
We'll see. It depends how far Kevin Smith wants to take this, I think.
I imagine someone like him will take it pretty far.
You think he will?
Probably.
Speaking of media nightmares, there's a report that Michelle Obama is going to appear on Fox News, and she will talk to Mike Huckabee about child obesity. So when I first read the headline, I assumed this must be a preset topic, and it's going to be somewhat of a friendly interview. And I'm surprised it's with Huckabee. I assumed it would be with one of the so-called news anchors that are only do straight news. They don't inject their opinion in any way because Fox News is fair and balanced. But she is going to talk to Mike Huckabee. Apparently, it's going to be, I think, this week on Mike Huckabee's show, which is a Saturday show. And it'll basically be talking about weight loss. And Mike Huckabee is an admitted recovering foodaholic. He lost 120 pounds over 2 years. He also wrote a book that sounds incredibly like an infomercial called Quit Digging Your Grave with a Knife and Fork, a 12-step program to end bad habits and begin a healthy lifestyle. It does sound like one of these $12.95 paid programming books that you see on the weekends on TV, isn't it?
Very cheesy.
But it is from Mike Huckabee. I'll be curious to see what happens. I doubt there's going to be much political said, but you have to assume if Michelle Obama is going on Fox News, it must be pretty carefully planned, right?
I assume so. I mean, as far as I know, her husband still refuses to appear on Fox News, right?
Yeah, no, he has done some interviews. It's a back and forth. It's an ongoing war, and we'll see. We'll see exactly where that goes. Feel free to email us, radio@midweekpolitics.com. Coming up, a ton of emails from the last week.
Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman on midweekpolitics.com.
This episode of Midweek Politics has been made possible in part by Just Coffee Cooperative, fair trade coffee from around the world roasted daily at justcoffee.coop.